Right, I'm pretty much at the start of the trailhead now at the Repovesi National Park, so plan is to head out to these kind of remote lakes and set up a camp for the night and hope I'll catch some fish. Because funnily enough, I don't have so much food. Some pea soup and some coffee, and that's pretty much it. So plan is to head out and survive. Got pretty cool little swamp here behind me. They're kinda all over the country. In the winter easy to cross with snowmobiles and stuff, but in the summer or now during the fall when it's super wet, not really great. Interestingly also, even though I'm in the middle of the national park, I'm hearing engine sounds which may be coming from the military exercise zone right next to the national park. So this is kind of where our military practices as well, in this area. Let's continue the journey. I'm not so far from where I'm planning to head anymore, so let's see how it turns out. During fall, there's also opportunity to see all these beautiful mushrooms that the country is absolutely filled with. I don't really want to touch it as I don't recognize the mushroom, but it looks beautiful. It's all a bit swamp-like out here, which is not ideal, as this was kind of area that I was hoping to conquer, so I kind of have to rethink my plan a little bit. Alright, well, this is a bit unfortunate, but looks like I need to go to the other side of the lake, so could be worse, but I did see some nice looking places for camping over there, just here on the edge of the lake, so yeah, let's keep hiking. I'm by no means an expert in nature, so when I do this, just kind of pay attention as I kind of go around based off of a hunch and my earlier experiences. I spent quite a lot of time outdoors exploring wildernesses in Lapland, but rocks, like massive rocks with all these trees falling around them. How cool is that? It's not really going the way I was hoping it would go, so where I wanted to camp, I didn't really camp properly, so I kinda had to head on to another lake, and now it's getting a bit dark and gloomy. Makes me feel a bit tiniest bit anxious, which is not ideal obviously when we're out in the woods, as I would like to set up the camp and gather some wood for a fire. I do have a headlamp, of course, but it's much nicer to do all of that when you have just natural light around you. And as the winter's approaching, late October now, so obviously it kind of gets darker sooner and sooner, and the sun starts rising later and later, so you get less daylight. So yeah, hoping for the best. Kind of have a few more, or kind of have a little bit more walking to do, but we'll get there. As you can tell, it's getting pretty dark out here. I've had to bump up the ISO of my camera to like 25,000 for you to see what's going on. Found an alright spot for camping. It's maybe a bit wet for my liking, but kind of running out of ideas and time to do anything more, so I think I just have to make this work for me. Yeah, it's super dark now already. What just happened to me as well as I was checking out the spots was kind of stepped into a hole in the ground, one that fell right in the water, meaning that I'm not really standing on straight up bedrock, which is exactly what I was kind of scared of. Luckily I didn't hurt myself, just get my leg a bit wet, but it doesn't really make me feel all that comfortable camping out here either. So turns out this national park is actually quite challenging terrain-wise for camping. There is a big rock next to me. I could climb on top of it and most likely could set up a camp there, but I would prefer definitely being next to the water and having access to the fresh water. So yeah, we'll have to see what I do. Right. I decided to set up my camp here. It's super dark. I think at this point the camera is actually seeing more than I am. Yeah, I need to set up. It's an alright area. The ground seems sturdy enough. Yeah, that's quite a good flat-ish area for the most part. It's nice and soft from the moss on the top, so yeah, let's get to work then. Luckily this Fjellraven tent I have goes up in a matter of minutes, so in that sense I'll be quite alright. I'm just a bit afraid that it's getting so dark that we'll be trying to fish. I don't think I will really have so much anymore this late. Yeah. So I went out to try some dark fishing a few days ago and it wasn't, it's not good. But yeah, let's see. Let's get this out here. Being out here makes all the difference. Yeah, I think if the winds picked up really hard, these trees around me wouldn't be entirely safe to be around. Obviously it's not the ideal camping place in many ways. This is hard to pull straight, but tent's pretty much all set up. Honestly still not fully feeling comfortable. I'm also just hungry. It's dark and kind of scary, so yeah. Also no internet connection, nothing, like it's just nothing except me, and I haven't done this kind of a thing in a while, so being out here is scary for sure, even though it's just a small national park at the edge of the country. Yeah, tents gonna set up, maybe just make things a bit more comfortable, with some weight up here. Set up the sleeping pad and we'll be good to go. And I can start thinking about having a fire, which would be nice. Right, found this little flat spot here, kind of close to the, right next to the water. Not far from where I put up the tent. I didn't want to put my tent here because it's a bit too close to the water for my liking for the tent, but it's the perfect spot for me to set up a fire in case I can find enough sort of dry dead wood to light it up. So let's start working on that. Luckily I found a lot of dead tree, but it's all kind of wet, so the whole surrounding here is just straight up wet, which is far from ideal. So I'm not actually sure if this is gonna burn at all, but if I do manage to get it up, it's gonna be kind of nice and comfortable for a while. Yeah, everything's extremely wet, so there's no danger of lighting up the surroundings. And I have the lake right next to me, which should help quite a bit when I need to shut it down, but getting a fire going would be very nice. Yeah, but the trouble is all of this wood is actually so wet, so yeah, I'm not sure if it will light up. I'm hoping this with a few matches I could kind of feed this into heat, as I don't really have many other tools available for lighting up, and even when you can light it up, it's challenging, to say the least. As you can tell, not having much luck so far. Gonna see if I can work this out a bit more here. Ideally all of this small stuff here should light up quite easily. And I'm wanting this big stuff to kind of dry up while all the smaller stuff lights up, but reality is a bit uncertain. Okay, so I kind of have it burning. I moved it so it's right next to the water. There's literally about 30 centimeters to the water, but all around me it's like marsh, so super dark, super wet, and even all the wood I'm burning is extremely wet, so I kind of have to keep feeding it for now, but it's definitely making me feel a bit more comfortable. My goal here is to just sort of have a hot little patch of coal here on the ground that I could use to perhaps cook. I managed to light it all up quite nicely, and managed to get really good sort of hot coal in the bottom. So now I'm kind of, even though the wood I had cut was super wet, I'm kind of just putting it on there now, and it's smoking a lot because all of the water is sizzling out into the hot bottom, and then eventually they will all kind of light up nicely, and I will have a actual firewood that burns a bit longer than the tiny sticks, keeping the fire going. Right, fire is going, life is looking slightly less miserable, terribly hungry, but I have a classic Finnish camping and military food, pea soup, so I'm gonna use the fire to my advantage. And well, I have this trangia that works easily just with alcohol-based fuel as well. For my cooking now, I'm gonna take advantage of the fire and the lake nearby, and I'm just gonna put one of the pots in here on the fire to boil some water and mix in the soup, and that's all I really need to do. Smooth, nice and easy. Stoked. Luckily I managed to find this whole dead tree that I have kind of here set up, so I can just kind of smash with my leg to crack it open, and I can kind of turn it into firewood. These old trees tend to be, old fallen trees burn nice, but they have often also turned softer, which makes it possible to crack them kinda into pieces without too much effort, which is very nice. So I can actually make some firewood. Just gonna take this guy, take some water out of the lake right here. Luckily the Finnish lakes are extremely clean, so we have super nice clean water, but I'm still gonna boil it just to make sure it's clean, and also it kind of needs to be boiled anyway for the soup. Yeah, as you can tell, it's starting to boil, which is awesome because yeah, it's really good. There are a few plants in my water, but that's alright. They've been cleansed. So here we go. Ready for the Finnish national secret. Canned food tends to be somewhat difficult, so what I like to do is make a couple holes to the bottom that get some air in through the bottom, and that should help to get things moving. Except this guy really doesn't want to be moving, so let's grab a spoon. Alright, let's see if this works better for us. It's not the prettiest thing, but it is delicious. I'm gonna let it sit there for a while, get it back to boiling point and get it kinda nice and smooth and creamy, so it's time to eat. Down for a bit and just get some energy in my body. That was nice. Oh, I feel better. I didn't bring so much food though, so I'm not gonna eat more than that now. I will be boiling some water though. First we need to get this clean and then for drinking something. I like to think that fire is important to keep up, not just for the warmth of your body, but also for the warmth of your mind. As especially towards winter when the days get darker, it's quite easy for the mind to go in darker places as well. And like when I was coming here and I had trouble finding a camping place and had to build up the camp in the dark, I was struggling. I was feeling not great. I wasn't feeling very good. But as soon as I got the fire properly started, everything's kinda mellowed out. Yeah, frankly I'm still not feeling super great. It's been so long already, like now it's 9:30 in the evening, but it's just been dark this whole time, and I got to the parking lot at 4:30. I feel like I've been out here for forever, so yeah, but just have to deal with it. Time for getting in bed, which is actually very soft feeling like that. It's nice. A set of wall socks because, yeah, I want hopefully to tomorrow morning brings a new, brighter day. It's actually smelling very nice here with all this kataja is what we call it in Finnish. Once again, I'm not remembering the English name for the plants, but yeah. Alright, it's bedtime for me. Definitely not the warmest day. It's been raining a bit, I think. Cold is definitely there, so I'm gonna pull on the down jacket to keep me warm for a bit. Yeah, that's the camp. This looks like a perfect fishing spot now. In the evening it was bloody dark. But it's very beautiful out here. That's where my old camp was, particularly like. Yeah, stoked. Going to make some coffee and yeah, let's do it. Let's catch a fish. I'm gonna make a fire this morning because it's a bit intensive and not really necessary for me. Shouldn't really use the resources of the nature any more than you need to, so not necessary today at all. So instead we're gonna use this trangia just to boil the water for the coffee, and after that I'll be pretty much all good to go. So this thing is super easy to use, which is nice. All we need is some fuel in there, and voila. And now nice. So I got the water boiling. I enjoy good coffee, so I have a coffee filter. I'm gonna make a hand pour coffee. That should be really nice. I have pre-ground beans and I just realized I've forgotten to bring any filters, so I'm gonna have to use a backup, which means paper just from my bag. So not ideal, but it will do. The water's almost boiling. I can pretty much get my coffee going. So dark roast, such a nice flavor. It sounds like my water is pretty much boiling, which is very nice. Also a fishing pan. I think it was better than this one, to be honest. Fish. That's a big photo. Yep. Here it is, the first one of the day. There's a few throws, but it's not exactly what we want to catch, unfortunately. It's a bit too small. Let's see if we can... Oh, this is hooked up quite bad. These guys have extremely sharp fins, so yeah, it's maybe a bit too small. If he's gonna die, I can turn him into a small steak, but otherwise, if I can still get the hooks out, I will let him go. Alright, there we go. He's jumped out of my hands, but come here, buddy. There we go, first catch of the day. Everything's kinda nice now. I caught the fish everything's dry. My tent has dried up, so I'll be packing up now my camp so I can be a bit more mobile and move around the lake better, easier with just my rucksack and go to different spots for some fishing. So yeah, vibes are good after catching that kind of fish. It's getting a bit warmer out there, so changed my jacket and yeah, now just get the tent to pack up and then we're good to go pretty much. I don't know what kind of magic they've done with these tightening ropes, because they never tangle up, which means that you can just push everything inside the bag. Yeah, it always comes out perfectly. Yeah, super cool. And it's all packed up. We are good to go, ready to move. So I will be trying out just the end of this lake. I've been kind of super nice little end, and the river goes down, so it goes into the next lake down there, which I feel like should be perfect for catching fish. Hike down to a different lake. Just gonna leave my backpack down here and drop it. Gonna get a bit closer to the water. I'm just hiking back towards my car slowly. There's still a lake on the way that I want to stop at to try some fishing. Currently walking just on this old forest ranger quad path, so kind of nice and easy to hike on. Yeah. Pretty stoked I at least caught the first fish of this channel, and still searching for the huge pike, so maybe one day we'll catch that as well. Yeah, let's keep going. Fallen tree. I'm done for this trip. Decided I was getting quite tired and hungry. I caught a fish. I'm fairly happy with the end result. Now I'm just yeah, gonna head back home and get back to normal life and work. But this was cool. Oh, stop. So yeah, let's roll.